We've also got the 5 things you can teach your kids about money. Most important things to teach your kids about money.
Important tips coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Television.
7:35. It is Monday morning. Time to check in with Dawn Chubay.
How old are your kids, Mark?
We got a 9, a 7, and a 4-year-old. 9,
a 7, and a 4. Well, Darren Weeks is here, who is the founder and CEO of Fast Track Group. Is that too young or too old to be starting to teach your kids about money?
Perfect age.
Perfect age.
Perfect age.
Okay, excellent. Good news, Mark. But you want to stay tuned for this. By the way, if you have kids, Darren is here to teach us the 5 things that we need to teach our kids about money. And it seems to me with this economy, you almost need to be teaching the younger kids now, the generation now, properly about money so that they can be good by the time they get to be adults, right?
In any economy, I think it's just necessary. Money's in every fabric of our society, so I think it's necessary all the time, no matter how the economy is doing.
But certainly kids are not immune to the effects of the economic woes that are happening right now. They're not blind to what's happening in their own household. So we're going to talk about the 5 tips, the things that you can teach your kids today, but what's important just about them being aware of the climate in their household as far as the money situation?
I think it's important. I think it's important that parents don't tell their kids money's dirty, money's bad, money's evil, so that they get comfortable understanding that money is an important part of their life, and it's everywhere. So start introducing it to people when they're younger.
Okay,
kids.
So we got our first tip, save and set goals.
Well, I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, so Connor's already saving money for his car.
Oh, gosh.
So he's 6. Because it takes a long time to save that kind of money up. So he's got that goal in mind that I'm going to have a car one day when I'm 15, 16 years old.
Okay.
So we do.
But when you're looking at the young ones, like, looking at 4, certainly the biggest goal is like, how much money can I save so I can go buy my candy on treat day? Yeah,
like Ava yesterday, she had 2 toonies, I think, and bought me a coffee, which is really nice. With the change, she wants to buy a house. So she can't quite understand it all yet, but at least they understand the concepts that money is needed to buy things.
Right.
And as they get a little bit older, 5 turns into 6, they can start to understand the concepts quite good. Quite good.
Okay, the second one you have is don't borrow what you can't pay.
Well, unfortunately, people don't understand bad interest versus good interest, good debt versus bad. So there's a lot of kids that get into credit card debt when they're 18, 19, 20, and they realize then they can't pay for it. So, it's a basic principle, but if you can't pay for it now, don't buy it. And if you don't understand bad debt, don't get credit cards.
But how are you teaching your young kids? Because if we're focusing on, not necessarily the upper teens into your 20s, if you're starting from a young age, how do you instill that in them?
Well, they have 3 piggy banks. So for every $1, they're going to get a third goes into long-term savings investments for the car, as an example. A third of it they can spend right away, and a third of it they're going to give to charity. So they have goals right away. If they want to buy that skateboard, they've got to save 1/3 of their money into the spending account, and they can see that gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Okay.
So they have some discipline, and they realize every $1 gets split into 3.
And of course, you're talking about investing as well, which is the 3rd tip you have for the parents.
Well, eventually, you can have more money than working for you in the bank than you can make when you work. So eventually, my kids know that if that investment account keeps growing, it's going to get bigger faster than you can ever imagine by putting more money into it every 2 weeks. So your investments have to work for you. So teach the kids that concept of interest.
So the idea is to teach them to invest so that later in life, they got lots of cash.
They're financially free, exactly.
Excellent. Okay, and get sound financial advice. Now, when you're young, it seems to me the place I'm getting my financial advice is my parent.
And a lot of parents need to realize they need to put some time and effort into studying money as well. It's a function of effort. So look at your statements, look at your returns, start asking some people some questions if you're not happy with your returns. And I'd like more information to be in schools, but it's also bottom line the parents' responsibility. So if you can get kids involved early, they're going to use these skills for the rest of their lives.
Okay, and your final one is to budget smartly.
Well, same thing, that 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. If you can do that when you're 4, 5, 6 years old and keep that going throughout teenage years, imagine what could happen when you're in your early 20s. Those habits can help you for the rest of your life.
Excellent. Well, some great tips, and obviously it starts from a very young age, although I think all of us, we're all still learning.
we always are. Appreciate it.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much to Darren. And for more information, of course, on some of the workshops and other things that you can find out about the Fast Track Group, you can go to our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Lots more to come on Breakfast Television. Stay with us. I wish I had more money. I wish I had more money when I was young. Thanks very much.